Hej, Alla. I know I'm trying to speak it in Swedish, but people, I don't speak Swedish. I try to start at the start on the beginning of a YouTube show. Try speaking in a different language at the start of my video. Well, not a bad way to start a blog, but, well, there's blogs. Well, let's just start again. Hej, Alla. Alla. Well, name's Matthew, and I live in a beautiful country called New Zealand. And and this is the coronavirus COVID-19 lockdown blog. And we're here to talk about Sweden's herd immunity. And yes, that's what I'm there to talk about, because Sweden's not in lockdown. And I'd like to see what is the fuss all about it and see how they are doing. But first of all, is that let's go to the computing forever. Yeah, Corona crisis, Iceland, Sweden, and new studies. Well, I'm only going to go through certain parts of it as well, and
Dr. Holohan stressed how important restrictions remain in order to reduce infection. Of course, the justification for this surge not happening and for the rounding down of the death numbers will likely be put down to the social distancing and lockdown measures. But I'm going to be going into an article by Dr. Marcus de Bruin that explains why this isn't the case. Swedes were told that Sweden could have 80 to 90,000 deaths before the summer, but Sweden, which didn't go into lockdown and had relatively moderate social distancing measures and restrictions, has had 1,937 deaths at the time of making this video. And of course, given what we know about death certificates...
Well, let's go back what he said.
...and categorization of COVID-19 deaths, who knows how accurate those numbers actually are. Sweden hasn't been immune from the massive economic downturn this crisis has caused, but they're coping with it far better than others, and they will likely recover quicker than most countries that opted for a more draconian approach. So basically, in Ireland, we'll be told that the reason we didn't reach the predicted terrifying peak and overwhelmed ICUs was because the population complied with the lockdowns and social distancing measures. But if that's true, explain to me why Sweden didn't reach its predicted death toll of 80 to 90,000.
Yeah, 80 to 90,000, why they didn't reach that. And their deaths is only like just below 2,000 deaths, it's just below that.
Deaths when they didn't introduce lockdown. Every country was given worst case scenario doomsday death toll predictions based on computer modelling. And some countries have adopted draconian lockdown measures and some haven't. When all of this is over, we will have a complete picture of which countries fared the best, and that's going to tell us whether the lockdowns were even necessary in the first place.
Well, I'm going to go to the coronavirus map there and have a look at what Sweden's at. So let's go and look at the map. And there we are here. And let's scroll down to Sweden. There it is. Right there. Where is Sweden? There we are. Right there. And let's scroll down. And there it is there. And Sweden's only just went over 2,000 deaths, and let's look at how many recovered. Well, it's only about 550 recovered. and it's about 16,755 confirmed cases, and which, but why is that? Why is, well, I ain't going to get to that soon enough. And let's just go back what I was about to say. And they say they were going to reach 90,000, but, or 80 to 90,000, and there are only 2,000 deaths. It's nowhere near the predicted, what they were predicting, nowhere near. So, let's just go back where we're saying. And let's go to the next article, what Sweden's is about. Sweden is right. The economy should be left open. Sometimes the best thing to do is nothing at all. Take Sweden, for example, where the government decided not to shut down the economy, but to take more thoughtful and balanced approach. Sweden has kept its primary school, restaurants, shop, gyms open for business, even there were very few people out in public, or they're carrying on what they normally would. Sometimes the government has kept Swedish people well informed so they will understand the risk of the virus posed to their health and the health of others. This is how the Swedes have minimized their chance of getting an infection while they're avoiding more extreme measures like sheltering in place, which is the de facto house arrest here. This is like shelter in place. This is the de facto house arrest. Yep. Like here in New Zealand, we're actually in house arrest. We can't go to beaches, we can't go to cafeterias, we can't go to restaurants, and as a child, schools are closed. And it's been 29 days since level 4 alert level 4 was declared. Well, if you happen to be one of the viewer in Sweden and you actually understand English quite well, well, I actually like to hear from you. And you probably would like to hear from what is going on in New Zealand, because so we can actually have a conversation and see what measures is good or not. Well, it's time to move on to let's go to the next time. And it's on YouTube, and I'm going to watch the whole thing, and let's go to it. Hot boy, and it happens to be a beautiful lady there, and hot man, blonde hair, blue eyes. Although it's not exactly blue. Oh boy, she's lovely as. She's beautiful.
Sweden's COVID-19 strategy has been under fire recently for being too lax, especially when we compare with other European countries.
Yeah, she says, right, we'll be under fire for being too lax. Wow. I think because here in New Zealand, we're in house arrest, but Sweden, no lockdown. People can go about their business.
Rising death toll, the Swedish foreign minister said this Friday that it's actually a myth that life goes on as usual here in Sweden. So
Yes.
This weekend we came to Malmö to check for our...
Man, I wish I have that here in New Zealand. Like Sweden, people can just be humans, but in New Zealand, no, you have to go with the lockdown and social distancing. You have to go through what's dehumanizing, but man.
ourselves.
Oh man, look at the crowd. Oh man. Yeah. They're all enjoying themselves, having got a conversation and that though. It's like New Zealand? No, you can't have that. Oh boy, this is
It has been fewer people, but I thought it would be a lot worse. But that is also because we have a really good place here in Malmö, right in the city center. We have a lot of people walking around here, so maybe it's not the same for all the restaurants and cafes. But of course we've noticed it, but I really thought it would be worse.
well. It looks like people are just having a ball, having a good conversations. Like they're all mingling, chatting, and that though. Just having a ball, man. If I try to do that in New Zealand, God, boy, I'll probably get lockdown breaches. Yeah. Probably get like done for lockdown breaches and all have my asses from jail for doing all that stuff. In Sweden, can do all that. And man, it's just like, oh, man, it's just awesome. It's just, I love this. I love human being human. Just, I love it. It's just, I love it. It's just, we'll keep distance a bit better than what we do normally when people work.
Keep the distance a bit better than we normally do. People work from home. Try to avoid crowds a bit more than usual, definitely. But as you say, of course, not as much as many other countries in Europe.
Yeah. Well, oops. Oh, there was that ad that just came up. Well, their brain must have managed with that. Well, let's go on to the next article. And well, I'm not going to go through it though, but I'm going to go through it. And this is the article now, and I will have a link down there below. Sweden is no lockdown working, and to find out, it's probably not doing any better or worse than any other country. It's like, find out, I don't actually even know, because they're probably not doing any better, and they're not doing any worse. So, and I find out the economy's probably doing fine because the stores are open, restaurants are open, and let's say even our New Zealand, our staff here in New Zealand, then they say coronavirus passes through hope to achieve herd immunity for COVID-19 next month. Well, it depends on the person, and usually it depends on the person. It's just how well you've been getting your sunlight and vitamin D and how healthy you are and that though. And that's fine. And look at that. People just sitting out in the park, like enjoying themselves. And here in New Zealand, if you try like say, oh, let's go and get to a buckethead chest, man, you have the police coming and trying to arrest you all. Hey, it's just, man. Well, let's say past 1,000, well, it's 2,000 now, and yeah. And then people were enjoying the bar, which I actually showed on that video as well, and with that lovely, showing that lovely lady there. And yet, she like turn around the bed as well, and boy, she is really lovely. Really. Wow. And we started to see many new people and populations so kind of saying see the effects of the spread of the infection. Well, you actually achieve the advantage of the humanity and those social restrictions is protecting the economy. Means you sort of like when you're sick, you do stay home, but when you're well, you just can just go out whenever you please. Like in Sweden, people use their common sense, but in New Zealand, no. We're there to protect the nanny state. So let's just move on. In Sweden, there is no COVID-19 lockdown. Here's 4 things to know. Let's go through them. 1. What is the actual policy? The cancellation of Sweden is freewheeling during the coronavirus pandemic, as inaccurate, said Joshua Rizra, Associated Director for Global Health, Kaiser Family Foundation. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but if you want to read the whole thing. And how does the death toll compare? Well, I find out it's not actually any better or worse, from my view. But if you want to go there it is right there. You just watch the whole video. I'm not going to go through what he's going to say, but if you want to watch it, I'll have a link down there below. Is the economy really better off? Well, if the rate it's been lifted, and it's probably open, so I find it might actually do well. So, how does the policy plays perfectly? Well, Sweden COVID-19 has sparked debate, but generally the population survey says. Well, it's always good to have some debate and see what you can come up with your own conclusion. And this is what I'm here to do, is just to see what the fuss is going on and come up with my own conclusion. And well, this is all what it's all about, swim or virus, but there's all a YouTube video about this one. I'm not going to go through there. And yeah, Sweden resisted the lockdown, and it reached its capital starting, and it reached herd immunity in weeks. Well, it's always depend on the person, you know, and people it's like they're just enjoying themselves, and it's like party. If I say I want to organise a party here in New Zealand and say, oh, let's sit around the steps, and man, we'll have police coming around and arresting you all here in New Zealand. And yeah, actually. Because if I try like say, oh, let's have a party and let's go to a parking lot, man, we will have a whole heap of police trying to arrest us all. We'll have that. You know, although the owner is paying the price, I know it's not going to be better for the elderly, but if you're elderly, it's probably best if you do stay home or so. And if you're probably sick or old and that, though, yeah, it's probably better you do stay home. But if you're healthy and that, yeah, go on right ahead, enjoy your day, and yeah, awesome. But here in New Zealand, no, we're in house arrest. I said it many times. And well, before I continue on this time, I'm going to get back to computing forever, and let's go back to at the 40-minute mark. There we go. We're starting here.
Context, it must sell news. Yes, exactly. It's clickbait, basically. Analysis of its contribution to the pathogenesis will undoubtedly be retrospective news. At present, there is no vaccine available for COVID-19. The absence of a vaccine has greatly contributed to the pandemic of panic in respect of the virus. It is commonly believed that this means there is no cure for the virus. There is, however, an entirely inevitable and natural cure for the virus. The fact is that 80 to 90% of those infected with, by all accounts, experience nothing more than symptoms generally associated with a standard cold or flu. There is no cure for COVID-19 in the same sense that there is no cure for the common cold. The cure for both conditions lies in the reality that infection is not dangerous for the vast majority of victims. Following an infection, the significant majority who survive are expected to remain immune to the same virus for quite some time. This is the same reality for cases of the common cold and seasonal flu. Once some 60 to 70% of a given population have been infected, effective immunity has been established within that population. This immunity is commonly referred to as herd immunity. It is the process whereby
Yeah, herd immunity, and he's going about to get to that. Probably he's going to say it probably right now. Let's just continue a bit, but I might back out a little bit more. There we go.
This is the same reality for cases of the common cold and seasonal flu. Once some 60 to 70% of a given population have been infected, effective immunity has been established within that population. This immunity is commonly referred to as herd immunity. It is the process whereby populations become immune to the common cold, and in the absence of a vaccine, herd immunity is the only available mechanism whereby any given population will become progressively immune to COVID-19. Mother Nature has built this into the human race, and I'm glad that herd immunity is a thing.
Oh, exactly. Yes. Well, Jacinda Ardern, did you hear that? Did you hear it? I probably guess not, because you want us to be social distancing and keep us on the house, which is going to cause people to be stirred crazy, and it's going to really screw people's mind, and it's probably not going to make them any healthier, and it's going to probably make them sick. We should probably take what Sweden's approach is, and that's what Sweden's doing, herd immunity, and they have been laxed on the lockdown, and there is no lockdown. They probably haven't put it in place yet, and I think the country is just doing just fine. Well, let's just get back what I was saying.
Indeed, this is the case. Most community-acquired viral infections that are not amenable to vaccination. It is regrettable that the concept of herd immunity has been somewhat vilified in the media since it was first openly discussed by UK officials.
Yeah, also here in New Zealand as well, the media also vilified it as well. So, well, it's not just the UK. Also, mainstream media in Western countries also been doing that. Like the USA, Australia, and other Western nations, they've also been doing that as well. So let's just continue.
At the onset of the crisis in the UK, indeed, I was one of the people in the beginning who was saying that we shouldn't go down the herd immunity route, but I didn't know what I was talking about back then. It was probably, in retrospect, the better choice. The political encouragement.
Yeah, probably that was probably the better choice. At least you'll have more freedom, and when you're sick, yeah, you stay home. Well, I'm going to probably talk about it later on. Let's just continue.
Encouragement of its development has been portrayed in a negative manner, as something of an experiment or a cruel and rather inhumane response to the crisis. Herd immunity is an inevitable consequence of the COVID-19 panic. In the absence of a vaccine, and if environmental or climate-related factors are not influential upon reducing spread of the virus, herd immunity is the only viable means of eradication. Herd immunity is not the enemy. It is a natural and inevitable part of the process.
Exactly, and
once some 60 to 70% of a population have been infected and recover, existing infections are unlikely to spread within that population. On each occasion that an infected individual meets another person in the community, the virus has a significantly reduced opportunity to spread. When a newly encountered potential...
Yeah, well, it's probably best you don't try bringing the house arrest, but it's probably best that you sort of do encourage people to sort of stay at home. That's all you can do. But don't try and make it too strict because, well, it's going to probably find out. Social distance is going to probably even make the virus spread more. Well, let's continue what he's got to say first.
Host is in fact immune to the virus by virtue of that he or she has fully recovered, spread becomes increasingly difficult and the virus eventually expires. Unfortunately, this type of immunity is contingent upon the fact that the original viral infection is the same virus, and that the virus has not mutated and can therefore reinfect the initial host for a second time. Viral mutation is not science fiction. It is part of the natural evolution of viruses. It is for this reason that the same person can have a cold virus infection on more than one occasion. Either they have been infected by a different cold virus, or the initial virus has mutated to the extent that it is no longer rapidly recognized by the immune system. Viral mutation within a population is an inevitability, and it is contingent upon time and the availability of hosts. Unfortunately, an unavoidable consequence of lockdown and social distancing is that herd immunity is effectively delayed, and in this sense, an increasing amount of time is afforded to the virus, permitting and possibly encouraging its mutation.
Yeah, social distancing is only encouraging its mutation. Yeah, because, yeah, it's actually delaying herd immunity. So, probably best you don't actually have to lock down at all. Yeah, that's why I'm talking about it, because that's how Sweden's probably doing it. And I find out their country's doing just fine.
This is actually something that Professor Knut Witkowski was talking about. There's an interview with him on Journeyman Pictures as well, and he was saying that this idea of flattening the curve is just extending the life of the virus so that there may very well be a second wave.
Yeah, you're just only extending the virus. Yeah.
Later on in the year, and it was totally unnecessary, because if we had have gone down the herd immunity route, then we wouldn't be extending the life of the virus, and we wouldn't have to deal with it basically in two parts. In our efforts to delay the spread of the virus itself is afforded more time. This may well be good for us, but it is also good for the virus. Human beings have evolved to live alongside viruses, so the lockdown and the social distancing is just unnatural for us and for nature in general.
Exactly. Well, people, you heard it, and I know I'm going to have a link down for this video as well, and it's also on YouTube as well. The reason why I choose it on BitChute, because I won't get all those ads and that though coming out of my face while I'm doing a blog and that though. So, well, let's get back here. This video is also worth watching here, and I am going to leave a link down below for both BitTube and YouTube. So, let's go there, and yes, and they're going to tell us, say, oh, we ain't going to go to herd immunity until there's a vaccine available. Well, people, I'm not going to take it. I don't know why. I'm not going to say that you can or should take it, but for me, I'm not, because we know what this vaccine is and does contain, and also it contains tissue from the fetus. Yes, from the fetus. It's absolutely disgusting. What does contain the vaccine, what Bill Gates is trying to push on us as well. And he's trying to tell us, say that, oh, you can't go back to a normal life until the vaccine is available. Well, Bill Gates, you can just get stuff. And they say, coronavirus, the vaccine's key to getting life back to normal. Well, this is what Bill Gates would say. Sounds like Bill Gates to me. And I'll bet those people there will be getting made from Bill Gates and from the Bill and Melinda Foundation, and because so they can get the vaccine and get us microchips, because that's what the vaccine will contain, all those microchips. And that's why I will not be taking the vaccine. It's time to move on, and the next one is also about Taiwan. Yep. Taiwan, no lockdowns, no closed businesses. Same way what Sweden had done. And look like, and they got way less cases as well. And they also got like probably more than twice the population of Sweden. I think it's about 24 million people, and Sweden's like 10 million. And they only got 400 cases of COVID-19. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. And only 6 deaths. And 5 is local because the first death is from a Chinese person. So first death was on a local. So it's only 5. Right. And a non-WHO member because China will not accept Taiwan in. And it looks like Taiwan's doing quite good as well, and you can see how Taiwan's been doing well. And Taiwan had a bad experience with the 2003 SARS and other coronavirus outbreak in China. And unlike the US and many other countries, Taiwan did not quarantine the entire nation. They focus on quarantine, traveling, coming in and out, and from abroad in their homes or the rest of their nation went about their business. With some restrictions placed such as wearing face masks, and practicing social distancing. And also they relaxed on the lockdown as well, but they probably be encouraged to social distance as well, and if they can. So, well, people, and that's all I gotta say for now. And I'm gonna talk and goodbye. Yeah, Joe. I'm not sure that's how I say it. It means goodbye in Sweden. Well, people, this is all I gotta read. It's time to wrap this up. This is all I gotta say for now. Hope you enjoyed this video. If I really missed something about, let me know in the comments below. And if you're really a person in Sweden and you do speak some good English, well, let me know in the comments how's your country's really doing. And for now, this is Matthew Miller, starting off, over, and out.